joining me. It's
Mhm.
been a long, it's been a long busy season already. I don't
Agreed.
know. I don't know if everybody out there realizes it, or maybe they think I'm, wrong about it. But like, I think busy season is real. We've been
Mhm.
burning the candle, morning until night because of, it's the referral time, it's the back to school times, it's
Mm.
the students are going to new classrooms times and have adjustments. Parents are adjusting to their new
Yeah.
daycare. Maybe
Yeah.
there's a new daycare and there's a new daycare problem, a new preschool and a new preschool situation, or coming home from the new school is problematic. Transitions, right? So like
Mhm.
in my opinion, we're in the thick of busy season as far as like the workload, the referrals are abundant, the amount of just, I mean, we have to see. Thankfully, there is a slow season, so fingers crossed. But
Well, I think you pointed that out to us not too long ago because you were like, busy season's coming, and we're all just kind of like, well, how do you know?
when I emailed, I think I did. You're right. I emailed out I think at least to the IBA membership or just to SBS, but I emailed out something to that effect, like, "Hey guys, busy season is upon us. This is what we've been able to track. Be safe, hydrate, drive slowly, and be kind to
It
each
is a
other." Because
pattern, though, isn't it? It's a
I
pattern.
think it is. I think it is a trackable, demonstratable pattern that busy season happens in the waiver. In my opinion, we have a what I call what busy immediately drop the slow, ramping up, moderate, be nothing to do. It's literally like how do I draw it? Like like you ramp, you probably can't even see this.
Look.
Like you ramp up and it's a steep drop. You can't see that at
Mhm.
all, can you? All right,
Yeah.
listen, I'm
Yeah.
not artistic. Nobody take that graph and do anything scientific with that. I've been sleeping 5 hours a night. So that's my artistic ability. Anywho, we've been we got a bunch of stuff sent to us, and so we just I don't know, we're sifting through it, trying to understand it, read it, learn. I don't know. I don't know. Stuff was
Mm.
sent to us, so we're just participants reading things that come across our screens.
It's
Uh,
interesting stuff. It's interesting stuff.
it is, it is. And so like I pull up the first document, and I mean we'll just start there, and we're gonna go through this, guys. You're gonna hear from Jennifer and myself again. The same disclaimer I always say: we're not lawyers, we're not accountants, we're not dietitians, we're not mathematicians. We're just people, part of a professional association, coming to talk about our experiences and our perceptions and our opinions. Our faithful following is free to interpret however you choose. Up to you. Anywho, let me share this screen real quick. Let me share the screen if I can find what I'm doing first, because that would be beneficial, wouldn't it, Jennifer? There it is.
Mhm.
One day I'm going to get my life together. Okay, so this comes across my screen, our screens. And it looks like it was the Indiana Association of Behavior Consultants Conference 2023 compilation of survey feedback comments. Again, folks, I'm not a member of that association. Neither is Jennifer. We have not been since at least 2019, approximately. This came across our
Mhm.
screen. I am opening and reading what hit my screen, what hit her screen. And closing keynote speaker over at this association. Do you have any additional comments regarding this presentation? So it looks like it's the feedback from the INABC conference, which Jennifer and I have we attended in our time.
We attended a few, yeah.
Your default microphone has changed microphone array. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
You're probably hearing me from the computer and not the microphone. Let's see if I can. Oh, it's the microphone. I don't know what I'm doing with this computer. Okay, back to it. So I guess these are the comments that the behavior consultants that attended the conference provided
Mhm.
to the association for feedback so that they can presumably improve going forward, is my assumption. So a lot
Mhm.
of the feedback is uh looking to make B-man services and also tell BCs what they should not be doing. Blah, blah. The message from Beads is that they want more collaboration and less competition amongst BCs. This would have been a good opportunity for one of the leaders of INABC to model this. Nothing you shared if you've heard Kelly talk before. There was, again, folks, we're just reading what was presented to us or sent to us. There's no need to use profanity in a professional setting. I'm guilty of profanity in a professional setting. What
Mhm.
happens? Seems like material she had presented previously. I may have heard the actual information a couple of times in the last 18 plus years I've been to BC, but her info is always helpful and always learn something new. Somewhat repetitive, very policy based, great for a long day.
Hmm.
I've seen her speak many times before. I appreciate her direct delivery style. However, her mention of Hamas in the presentation of such a casual way was very shocking to me. That topic is not a professional conference. It's a sensitive topic. Something in the Middle East. I don't know. I wasn't part of this. Bunch of positive comments, folks. We share everything objectively and fairly. So it's
Mhm.
all here. You can pause your screens. You can read everything word for word. Obviously, my eyes were more focused on the highlights. And I like blue, so somebody knows how to pander to me.
Mhm.
Too long, especially after opening speech as well. This is a really long one. I found it discouraging that the speaker kept referring to the old days. Like in the old days, we were better B-man. We were great then and we're great now. In the old days, we used to go out at 2 a.m. We sure did. I think it is discouraging to younger behaviors to speak in that manner. During COVID, I sat home from March to June while everyone in bigger cities like Indy sat at home for a year. I was out in the streets providing service. I got COVID 3 different times. Back in the day, we used to really do good work. Question mark. Get out of here with that nonsense. To be honest, the older people I know are some of the laziest. They got
Oh,
easy. They got their caseloads manicured so they do not have to go out at night. They spend their days at the day service and they bill for podcasts.
no, no, no. How
Ooh,
many
golly,
podcasts
I
are
wish
there?
I
It's
knew
just
who wrote
us, right?
that. I wish I could find out who wrote that.
I know.
They
No,
spend
there's
their
no
days
billing
at
for
day service and
podcasts,
they
not
bill for
here.
podcasts. This wasn't my first time hearing this speech from her either. I don't need to glorify a time that didn't exist to me. Also, the fact that she wouldn't take questions about the rate setting at that point. What are we doing? The cost of living went up. I spent about 5,000 on gas alone last year. I remember those days. My bank account is embarrassingly low, but it is not about the money, question mark. That's what people say when they have money.
Yeah.
We are out here busting our butts and providing service, and cost of living went up 30%, but we can't ask questions about the rate. What's the point then? I don't know who that was, but I feel you.
That's
I
some
feel
real
you
stuff there,
personally.
yeah.
Good grief, I feel you.
Yeah.
Because we are the younger generation in here. And yes, the older generation did so well, but they also didn't. And we are also probably doing the same. We're doing a lot of things very well, and some aren't, but
Mhm.
that resonated.
Yeah.
Yeah, golly, validation from whoever wrote that.
Right.
Are passionate about advocating for individuals and actually prefer spicy relief. Okay. I'm not gonna be a
Probably likes
liar.
your podcast then.
Whoever that is, maybe they do, because I'm not gonna lie. I like spicier language too. I'm not gonna be unfair. I like cuss words. I don't know, they add just flavor to the conversation, so it's coming from my cast. You know what I mean? I don't
Mhm.
know. I wish he was more professional. It was a bit rough. We have heard a lot of the same stuff before. Also, some comments I don't agree with. Ellie did great. Sort of left wondering if B-Man, our jobs will be going away in the near future. We're all
Yep.
wondering that.
That's what we're all.
Aggressive delivery. The fire and brimstone talk did not help new people. It scared many new BCs. It's always been about fear tactics.
Yep.
Good grief. Great speaker. So many times I have preferred a more Q&A type session for her, as she is one to give the association all the updates and info from the state. Yeah, we know. We know, because
Yeah.
that's how it works. I don't appreciate being basically told it's our fault we did not get a raise. I don't know that any of the information was usable. I mean, it was informative, but also repetitive at a long time conference attender, as a long
You
time
know,
conference attender.
honestly, that's why we quit going to the conferences a long time ago. It just was like, it just felt like it was the same thing every year.
It was redundant. And I mean, I
Yep.
don't want you guys at home to take Jennifer. That was the reason. That was one of like five, but yes, that was a big one.
Mhm.
Is we were wasting our money as an association and excuse me, as a company, as companies and as clinicians, because again, I don't want to be disrespectful to the clinicians that were trying. It was repetitive. It
Mhm.
was. In the years that we went, we weren't at these. This was sent to us. I was not there. I have
Yeah.
no idea what went on that year. I don't care. So in the years that we went, it was incredibly repetitive. And this, we stopped going 5 years before this one. So apparently it's the same thing. I don't know. I'm not going anymore.
Yeah.
Uh, this was great information. It gave us hope about the field. I think it gave healthy level of skepticism about the future in order to critically evaluate how we move forward. I think there was some fear created about if we will continue to have B-Man in the future, partially due to Jim's question, which was not fully answered by Kelly. More conversation needs to happen in this area.
Jim,
Agreed.
Jim,
Agreed. Person, whoever wrote this, agreed. Inform us what is really coming down the pike for behavior consultants in the future licensed employment. I know I wish. Kelly is way too negative and defensive. People need to get over the fact that things are changing. And to be honest, it was weird and that she spent half her presentation time talking about how things are changing. It really was not helpful at all to my practice. She also says such harmful things to the people in the room, such as you are not special, and I'm giving the closing keynote and you are not. So get over it, which is wholly unfair given the varied perspectives and experiences in the room. He needs to develop more empathy. So whoever this person is quoting Kelly Herman at the 2023 conference saying that she said, you are not special to people. I'm giving the closing keynote and you are not. So get over it.
Mhm.
I wasn't there. I'm not saying she said it. I wasn't there. I'm saying this person documented that. And we
Yeah.
were presented with it and we're just reading it organically. Did I tell you my friends make fun of me for saying the word organically?
Yeah, you do say that one a lot.
Yeah. So they started this new trend when we hang out for pizza. It's
Mhm.
totality of circumstances and organically. I can't say anymore because anytime it happens, like everybody like is in a roar. So now I'm having to like stop using my vocabulary. I hate
Yeah.
myself.
It's kind of like when you watch sports now and they say physicality every 3 sentences, and you're just like, it's
Please don't ever
ridiculous.
say physicality to me in my life.
Physicality. Now I'm going to say it all the time.
You know, it's just these things are strange. So we more that was sent again, send, folks, send. We're breaking things over here. I cannot understand technology anymore, Jennifer. Okay. This was also sent to us. Weathering the storm, understanding the waves of change in behavioral support services. See that monster I just finished, Jennifer?
Yeah. Are you hyped now?
No, I need another one. Ooh, peachy keen. I like that flavor. Okay, so this was sent to us. Let's check this out. I have not seen the. I've not put eyes on this previously to this being sent to us. History of the Indiana waiver. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Nothing is standing out to me as drastically inaccurate. 2023 waitlist and applicants, family support waiver 6,073 plus, CIH 808. Okay.
Hmm.
Ooh, sorry, I think I moved slides. Let me figure out what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's a slide, right? Okay, let me go back. So apparently that's cover slide. Behavior supports rates 1994. I like those. No. Well, I guess we missed a rate increase in between here in 2006 or seven. I
Hmm.
mean, this feel like this is probably accurate, but there's a rate increase in between 94 and 2023. That is not listed here for some reason. Rules 460 IC provider change in 2001. Uh-huh. This is ancient history, largely unchanged. Policies provide some, uh-huh. Expenditure 7/1/21 to 6/30/2022. Total spent on FSW and CIH waiver about $1 billion. Or no, I can't do math. 100 million? No. What is that? That's like short of $1 billion. $985 million. I don't
Hmm.
do numbers, guys. I have like $17 in my pocket.
Oh, and they're low
Behavior.
behavior.
Yeah, let me zoom in. So this is saying total spent on the Indiana waivers is $1 billion. We'll just round, and behavior support services account for 85 million of that.
Hmm.
Okay, $85 million is the market share of behavior support services in the state of Indiana, according to this slide. Okay, let's keep going. Why is this okay? Why is this important? I was kind of wondering. You don't know what you don't know. Need to understand the history to impact the future. State defined federal overs. Change is coming in bold. Okay. What change? Current challenges. Disclaimer: I am painting broad strokes. This is not an attack.
If
Lack
you
of
have to
referral.
reference it's not an attack, it's got to be an attack,
It's an
right?
attack. It's like when people say no problem. It was a problem then.
Right.
It was a problem. Hey, good. Yeah, this is not an attack. Okay. Thanks for telling me that it's not. Like it's like when somebody says a statement like that, it makes me feel like I'm only allowed to feel the way you have told me I'm allowed to feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm going to say these things. You are only allowed to feel this way, is how I read that when anybody says things like, this is not this, and then go forward with it, whatever. Like, no
Yeah.
disrespect. I'm going to, that's full disrespect. What's up? Like, you know what I mean? So like this to me equates as no disrespect intended, but, and then they continue. So lack of referral. Oh, I messed up. I messed up. I messed up. Okay, here we go. Sorry. This is not on tech. I can't use my toggle on my mouse, or I don't know, I keep messing it up. Anywho, lack of referrals and stagnant growth. I have not seen that issue once.
Nope. I
We
think
have
that that
no,
has to be a personal experience, and I would like to see some resources on where there's a lack of referrals and stagnant growth.
we're flooded with referrals every day.
Yeah.
New people to the system requires after school and weekend hours. I'm assuming that means new individuals to the waivers. Well, after school and weekend hours.
Haven't
Uh,
we always had to do?
yeah, but weekend
Or
hours,
at
I don't know
least
what
you
weekend hours are. Weekend hours are not real. I don't know. I know like three BCs that work a little bit on the weekend because they want to, but like weekend hours aren't necessarily.
yeah. I don't I've always worked evenings, always, since I started.
Yes, but never weekends. Well, I work weekends like independently, like paperwork, but I never saw clients on
Yeah.
Saturdays and Sundays.
Right.
Just me, but maybe some people are, whatever. Great
Mhm.
variability in our language and approach. Agreed. Clinical expertise has not evolved with national best practices. I disagree. I think our clinical
Yeah.
expertise is probably in great comparison with our counterparts across the states. Maybe not theirs, but ours.
Again, I would like to see some resources for that.
What is this? A unit is a unit, but all behavior consultants are not equal. So who's better? Are you better?
I wonder if that means like how they use them? Is that kind of what she's
I don't know. Is
alluding
this why we get discriminated against because we're not equal?
to?
I don't know what
Yeah.
that means.
Yeah, I don't
Needs of the
know.
people we support are not all the same. I completely agree with that statement. The needs of the people we support are not all the same. That's fair.
Mhm.
Promising practices in other states sometimes can magnify our challenges. So saying something that looks the grass green over there will show that our grass is needing watered over here. Cool, water our grass.
Right.
Settings rural person centered practices are not fully understood. I agree with that. We appear at
Mhm.
times more competitive than collaborative. We are not collaborative. We are competitive, no matter how much this lie of a word is used.
I don't understand the collaborative because even early in the days when we were attending INABC, the cease and desist letters were going back and forth between the
Everywhere.
companies. Like, I
Everybody
mean,
was fighting.
there's, yeah.
Everybody was
If you
fighting
come here to
under the sun and rain.
IBA, we actually do have companies we're collaborating with within
Correct.
IBA.
But even in the old years that apparently were discussed earlier, there was no collaboration. There was there was the misperception of it because it was shrouded under articulated word salads. But underneath the veil, it was infighting, attacks, lawsuits, bankruptcies, sabotages. And no, this is
There was probably some collaboration in how you attack a behavior consultant that leaves one company and goes to the next. And then
certainly the ones
um,
beneath you who are not your equals.
taking away choices from the clients, like OPG did with like, well, you can leave half your caseload and take half, and we're just gonna
Yep.
make an arrangement here. Yeah.
Growth challenges, 150 slots granted per month. Okay, so that's the waiver wait list. All right. Okay. Great variability amongst us. Direct support professionals, 35 to 45% turnover rate because you don't pay them well and you don't treat them well. High turnover rates create work burnout because you don't pay them well and you don't treat them well. Language barriers and reading comprehension. Okay. Perception of their role is as in charge or babysitting. Feels like the 80s or 70s again, but okay. Pandemic effect of increased. Okay. Yeah. Pandemic effect of increased virtual employment opportunities means that DSPs, instead of taking this difficult job for $12 an hour, took easier virtual jobs for $12 an hour. Fair. Pay them better. Oh, sorry. Direct support, or excuse me, behavioral support documents, complicated with overly clinical language. I agree. Formats
Mhm.
and approach vary from agency to agency. That's very factual. Training is required on the documents, not the process.
What does that mean?
Hmm. How we evolved with national best practices. Caution against relying solely on your professional associations for all the training you need to be really effective in your work. Caution again. So this is saying do not rely on them for your training solely. Get other training too. I don't know. There are a number of states that have great quality, and so this is already concerning. Read this, Jennifer. There are a number of states that have great quality outcomes and do not have behavior consultants at all. What the heck?
Yeah, again, let's have some actual resources
What's
to,
what
yeah.
states? What are their outcome numbers in comparison to ours? Can I see a graph that shows that clearly illustrated?
Yeah.
Reliance on restrictive approaches of system of compliance, still using a very outdated functional assessment tools, not digging deep enough onto the why. Okay. One size does not fit all. If $20,000 would purchase either one, which would you buy? The G-Wagon, of course. Not whatever that is. This is a great variability in experience and talent from BC to BC. So she is saying some of us are G-Wagons and some of us are whatever this is. Needs of
Mhm.
individuals. Okay, so why does she get to decide who's a G-Wagon and who's this? Like I thought we were
Right.
created equal. I thought it was equal opportunity. There's no
Mhm.
equality here. Reflections from other states, tiered reimbursement, capped annual maximums, resource centers replacing B-Man as a service choice. I wonder who's building a resource center right now in anticipation of the behavior innovations. I mean, they're
Mhm.
not going to be called that, but I wonder who's already actively working on a resource center in anticipation of this.
So
Behavioral
no
service,
more being in the home, like your families now have to go to a resource center if they're having behavioral problems?
no, I'm wondering. I'm wondering what's happening because this makes me just think of case management innovations. When they came to the case managers and what they said was, oh, we've realized this is bad for the consumer, the individual, we want to make it better. And in fact, it got really worse. And this is just my opinion. When that came down, they lied. They had a shroud of misconception. Oh, we're not going to cut contract, we're not going to do this, and then come back with, oh, well, we had to make the hard decision. You understand, right? And
Mhm.
so companies like IPMG had insider information and they were able to take measures in advance ahead of their competitors
Mhm.
towards earning those contracts. A simple example that I'll give you guys is one of the new requirements that came out from Case Management Innovations was the 6 case management companies that got contracts were going to be required to use new encrypted email platforms. That's a new reg for the case management companies. And so with IPMG already having insider information, they affected that change in their own company long before the other 5 companies ever knew case management, excuse me, the other 12 companies before the innovations knew case management innovations were coming. Here are going to be some of the parameters. So they were able to affect unfair competitive change in order to have a better advantage against their competition when applying for the new contracts because of insider information. And what I think, based off of my experience and what I am seeing and reading, is in behavior management, there's a small group working to change this. They are already selling their behavior management companies, working
Mhm.
on some other stuff so that when the time comes, oh, state, you're looking to change behavior. I actually have the facility
I've already
with
done it
the
for
staff
you.
ready. How did we know that you were going to make this decision on Friday and I was going to have a ready facility for your decision on Monday?
Yeah.
What? I think that's
There's
what's happening.
insiders there as well,
Unfair
and
competition and complaints to the Federal Trade Commission are fair and legal and, viable options.
well,
You
you
know,
kind of picked up my topic too, so I have to stop you there for a second because when we're
by all
talking
means,
about management innovation, um, myself as well as a lot of other behavior consultants that I work with here in central Indiana have had to pick up case management duties in a lot of cases because there are so many brand new case managers, right?
you know what they're
So
doing.
when Beads mailed the letter out back in 2021, they literally said, we're doing this because we're going to increase the knowledge and we're going to increase the consistency of your case management services. And it's going to be a higher quality service. And we're 2 years out. And I just worked with one family who had 3 different case managers in just a couple of months. Like we literally had to continually cancel the quarterly meeting and reschedule it with a new person 3 different times. And as far as getting resources, and I'm not knocking case managers. New case managers are just trying to get in and get
I'm
to
not
know the
knocking the
job. That's
practitioners. It's the
when
industry.
you are a case manager who is learning the waiver, you can't be knowledgeable and consistent and super helpful. Like I had to work with one family who almost lost money because the case manager wasn't helping them get their summer camp paid for. And so I had to step in and say, "Hey, we need to work on this because they shouldn't have to pay $300 a week when the waiver will cover this for them," right? So, if this is the path that they're going to try to say that the case management innovation was such a successful, great thing, they should probably survey all the families that are consistently complaining. I'm sorry, Right? I could go
Don't
on for hours,
keep
right?
going. I'm
But
listening.
yeah,
I wanted to switch the focus from the slide back to you because I mean you're right.
yeah, like the families need to be surveyed so that you can find out how truly unsuccessful the case management innovation program was. You squashed a whole bunch of companies and you decreased that competition. And now these 6 companies have to serve statewide. So they're hiring. And I've had obviously, some of these case managers who were fantastic veteran case managers get sucked out of the field so that they can be managers. And they've told me that, like, we're hiring, right? They're overwhelmed trying to get these people on board, and then people just quit. They
I
just quit.
agree. I agree. And I don't blame the case managers. I don't blame the case manager supervisors, the veterans that we worked alongside for decades. And those of you who watch, you know
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
We have some great case managers that are still out
I'll
there,
go
but
to
they
hell
are
and back for
few and
them.
far between. And like I've tried to like, hey, are you accepting? Right? Like there's so few like ones that have been doing it for years and really like know what's going on. And it is just it's been really hard as behavior consultants to have to pick up that slack, and pick up on like all of the budget mistakes that happen when we don't get paid because we didn't catch a budget mistake. And like, I mean, just the number of
Work for
mistakes
free
involved.
so much.
Again, not coming down on the case managers. They're
Oh,
doing the best they can, but
not the
this
pack. It's
was
not
a
the respite. It's not the
decision,
music. It's not the B man. It's not the case managers. It's the
the
system.
poor decision making at the top.
And the scrunching of the money. And I mean,
Yeah.
I think I have an example of some of the stuff that was sent to us. I did glance at it before, of course. But I mean, you make a great point. Like, all it did was stifle fair, legal, capitalist American competition because it gave certain people insider information who go from making millions to making millions.
Uh-huh.
And all of a sudden, you have 13 competitors, and the rich just got absorbently richer. And so when you think about it, they're not going to call it innovations. They're going to come up with some newfangled blah, blah, blah jargon. It's political. Politicians are smart. They're savvy. They didn't get there by being dumb. Let's be honest.
Mhm. Right.
Like, I understand people can get political and be like, your candidate's an idiot. Your candidate's an idiot. At the end of the day, both candidates are smart enough to be there.
Mhm.
So these kinds of things are political and complicated, but they shouldn't be.
Yeah. It
They
really
should
should be
not
about
be.
choice and clients having choice. They have less choices now.
If significantly less choices. Let me get back to this slide. This is where we
Yeah.
left off. Uh, behavior services offered only by referral from state or existing crisis programs. So I mean, it feels like the shift in model, like we're getting those I don't know what they're called, Easter eggs. I don't know.
Mhm.
Don't know. Paradigm shift. The settings rule, true person centered, how the intersection of rules and practice are really difficult with extremely challenging concurring mental health challenges. Guardians who misunderstand the role. Uh-huh. I
Mm.
mean, I'm not reading anything terrible there.
Right.
Competition versus collaboration. Variations between employment styles confuse the workforce. All are allowable, and each has different pros and cons. Contractor fees for service as an employee, salaried and hourly employees. Okay, well, they are allowed. Misunderstanding about uninvited solicitation, which is not an employment term rule. I can't read, but a rule about the individual's right to choose a behavioral consultant without undue pressure from another agency. What did I just read? Can I even? I don't think I can highlight a thing. I don't know what I'm doing with my. What did I
Yeah.
just read, Jennifer? Misunderstanding about uninvited solicitation. I got to stop sharing my screen. I got to pull something up. What in the heck did I just read? What? Misunderstanding? Hold on. I apologize.
Well, this did this come out last year though?
I don't know. I don't know.
Beats this year came out and said, look, BCs, if they're saying BCs aren't allowed to tell their clients if they're leaving company, Beats has already come out and said that it's not the case.
Here, yeah, agreed. But here's where I'm confused. Let me just. I got to share my screen again, but I had to pull something up because that obviously immediately reminded me of something. Oh crap! I'm about to mess this up. I need to learn. I need to take a computer course. Okay, so let me see if I can share my screen again. Here. entire screen. This is gonna get dangerous here. Can you see all of this?
The texting, yes. I
So
think I
yes,
can. It's
so Kelly
okay.
Hartman texted me on my cell phone to tell me it seems you guys are reaching out to behavioral consultants from other companies to recruit them. It is uninvited solicitation. But here, I'm sorry, she writes, competition versus collaboration, misunderstanding about uninvited solicitation, which is not an employment rule, but a rule about the individual's right to choose a behavioral consultant without undue pressure for another agency. The truth remains, it doesn't matter what provider number you work under, you have the same rules, abide by the same state policy, adhere to the same provider agreement with DDARS, and your services are reimbursed to your company at the same rate as every BC in the state. Hate speech, slander, and dishonest or unethical business practices by any of us reflects on all of us and does not promote any person we serve to live their best life. I'm very confused about the misunderstanding about uninvited solicitation because Kelly Hartman specifically contacted me to tell me the recruitment of behavior consultants was uninvited solicitation. But here she was saying that there's a misunderstanding about uninvited solicitation, which is not an employment rule, which would have nothing to do with recruitment. What?
Oh boy, I
But a
don't
rule
know.
about the individual's right to choose. So you create the problem, and now you come as the savior with the solution. You threaten me and bully me and everybody else about uninvited solicitation, and then come and tell us that there's a misunderstanding. You created it. This
Mhm.
individual created this situation, and then the solution. Like, what? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness, that slide reminded me of that. Got all
Yeah.
God, I just haven't looked at it in ages. That's just
Whatever fits our best narrative in the moment.
can't make this. Oh, go back to the slide. Misunderstanding about that. Like, what's the misunderstanding? Come
Where's the
on,
hate speech and slander coming from?
show it to
Is
us.
that you? Your hate
And now
speech?
the funny side. Waiver redesign. Every person in here is invited to take part in the changes through the IPP grant, complete surveys, participate in learning, make time to be part of the change. Take time to really ask yourself why you're a behavior consultant. Every single person in here wants to make a living, wants to be rewarded for your hard work, but we have to get past the fact that we didn't get a rate increase. If you drill into the data, the rate was set on numbers provided to the middleman. It is done. We have to focus on our efforts on the way to solve problems. You know what this is? Do you remember this, Jennifer? We did an episode on the INA. This was like episode 2, 3, 4, 5 of like the podcast years ago. We did an episode
Yeah.
where we showed INABC's report to the state showing how they spent their B-man dollars, and we called it out as fictitious. It was junk because
Mhm.
they misrepresented their numbers, in my opinion, which is a big reason why we didn't get a raise because they didn't want to tell the state how little they actually pay their BCs. So the state's like, wow, they don't need a raise. They did that to themselves, where I would have come in and said, hey, we're paying 85, 90%. We need a raise
Mhm.
to themselves. And she's right. They did it to themselves. I did not participate in that report,
Right.
nor did they ask.
Yeah.
You and I, we went through that report on live on camera. That show is up on podcast, folks. I don't remember, it's season 1 somewhere.
Oh, it's a
Review it
long time ago because, like, I feel
years
like
ago.
it was like our first
It was
few
within our
episodes.
first 5 episodes. I'm willing to
Yeah.
bet $1 on that. It was within our first five of, I mean, we're up to 60, 70 episodes. But we talked about their report and we went through it and it's like, this is fictitious. They're misspending, and I think they were full of it. But again, as BCs, we support a bunch of people. A bunch of people, if you really grow and learn, then they need you to be the best you can be too. I agree. That's why we treat them well and we pay them well. Heck yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Our best practices are evolving. Functional assessment intervention strategies, understand trauma and its impact. PERMA, person, sympathy versus empathy, biases, perception, and subconcept. Yeah, okay. So, I mean, that's confusing, but okay.
That it? That was the whole thing?
No, there's a bunch more, but like I don't have
Oh,
the time or the energy or the willpower to go through every single slide. Like I don't understand half of them and what they're even saying because most of it is there's no data, there's no attachments, there's no graphs, no citations so we can go back and look
right.
at the data-driven information. Like it's just
Yeah.
info, but where's the what do you call it? Like your citation? Where's the page of like this is where it was driven? So I should be able to click and be like, all right, this is where that data is, and go to that data.
I think this is self-serving. I think this is, I've got the power here with Beats. And so here's my narrative on why we have to go this way. And I don't believe, I mean, there's obviously some things in here I agree with, but there's definitely some
Yeah.
things where what? It's
When this is what was also sent to us, which I grossly disagree with. And I get to express my opinion, and everybody else gets to express theirs and disagree with me. I'll zoom in for you, Jennifer.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what I'm looking
So,
at.
since 2007, it appears that Kelly Hartman has been getting paid monetized information on behalf of, I don't know, the Division of Disability and Rehabilitation Services, the Bureau of Disability. I don't know. So the math is the math, and the math is factually backed. It has cost the behavior consultants of Indiana $197,000 to obtain objective information from DDARS, FSSA, and BEADS through Kelly Hartman's monetization of information that should have been equally and fairly provided to all competitors. And this is what I was referring to earlier, how IPMG was able to affect changes in advance with insider
Yeah,
information, which is also why IPMG applied through their other company, Advocare, tried to be a provider for case management because they had all this insider information. So they were well suited to have two companies apply. Can
right.
you imagine if 2 out of the 6 were IPMG owned?
Well, and it was all the little companies of case management that got squashed, right? It was that they didn't have the insider information. They were smaller companies and
So the rest of us who are not, I don't know, doing whatever you do unfair competition, but like it
yeah.
should not cost 200,000 waiver dollars behavior
Mhm.
consult, not of the individual. This has been spent by the individual on the company that paid the BC, and then the BC or the company pays Kelly Hartman to get information from the state that the state of Indiana should be disseminating to all of us at an equal playing field. And so, with this insider information, it is our belief that they are able to start preparing for the changes and innovation ahead of us unfairly, so that when it comes out, they're 2 years ahead of us. And of course, they're going to get the contracts that we were unfairly informed about. And what we're trying to do is to stop the stifling of unfair competition, and it's illegal. That's what I want to do. And I want to take away the fact that we will all give every ounce of information that helps the disabled people for free. There's no
Mhm.
reason why a nonprofit organization designed to teach therapists spent $200,000 to get information that should just be publicly provided to all of us. I just don't see
Yeah, this
it.
whole seat at the table thing, only one person's allowed this seat at the table per policy is
Yeah.
wild to me
And
because the
then,
industry is changing and for the better. And then you have her coming out saying, oh, things are so much worse now. And you can see that reflected in all those comments saying, it's all negative and, we need to move on. Yes, the industry is changing and it's changing for the better.
we're trying to change it for the better and get rid of the old bad ways. Old ways,
Yeah.
we were still good BCs. There were just bad practices. Still trying to get
Mhm.
rid of those bad practices. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. That's $200,000 of behavior consultant money that should have gone to their childcare. Should have gone to their gas tanks, to their ongoing credit CEUs. That should have gone to their children, their anything. Shouldn't their mortgages. $200,000 of money earned by behavior consultants working hard should not have been spent on monetization of public information for all of us. It is stifling fair competition. And so, we have to try to defend ourselves. And here's another example of like not only stifling competition, but also stifling information that is supposed to be publicly made available. So, like, this was also sent to us. We're just reading what is provided. Hi, everyone. I've attached the meeting minutes from our quarterly meeting a couple weeks ago. Due to the technology issues I was having, please review and provide feedback on any items that need further explanation or clarification before I give Rob to add to the website. Kelly, please review your section as well. Thanks, everyone. This was sent by Kim Atkins, MS, RBC, BSS from, okay, INABC. There we go. Uh, Kelly Hartman, January 29, 24, to Kim and 6 more, January meeting minutes. Hey there, I would like take Kelly would like to have a co-liaison this year out. I was blindsided and not given the courtesy of a heads up, and I was trying to be graceful in my surprise. I didn't want to throw shade on the board as I wasn't sure you even knew that was going to be said. Oops. Oh crap, my bad. I will say that I shared with Jennifer, you as a board should have committee reports reviewed ahead of the meeting to know what is going to be said. While not necessarily for the minutes, I would like this to be a year of exploration of next steps for the liaison position. Why doesn't she want it in the minutes? Why
Mhm.
doesn't she want that where it's supposed to be in the public record minutes, where public information is disseminated fairly and transparently to everybody?
Right.
But currently, you as a board do not have anything in budget or bylaws to address this. So just should be ongoing discussion amongst the board until you are ready to take a decision to the membership. If
Hmm.
anyone in the decision-making world is interested, I am still working full-time and have no plans of that changing in the near term. I'm just working differently, which quite frankly is probably more beneficial to INABC. You have tangible citations, examples, graphs, attachments that this is
Right.
frankly probably more beneficial to INABC.
Yeah.
Moving on to words that were sent by somebody else. Uh, this was, I don't know who sent this. I got to figure, oh, look at the signature, but it was apparently sent to Kelly. Hi, Kelly. I will fix that. I was not aware of that report, and I don't believe the rest of the board was either. Should I add something in the minutes that there is nothing in the bylaws to address a liaison cohort or predecessor? I also want to add that Kelly is not looking to retire from the INABC liaison in the near future, but that next steps will be discussed. And on January 29th, 2024, it appears that Kelly Hartman said and directed to, oh, sorry, Kim Atkins is the one that said that to Kim. So Kelly gave a directive to Kim Atkins at INABC. Nah, you don't want to add anything to the minutes that wasn't a discussion point. It sounds like all of that was a discussion point. At
Mhm.
IABA, that would all be in the minutes. I would
Yeah.
just take that one sentence out and let the remain as the record of the meeting. If there is remediation, I think that would be on Jennifer as the president. So not only does the liaison of a professional association get to monetize $200,000 worth of information, she also gets to decide what, by her own opinion and choice, gets added or stricken from the record.
Mhm.
I incorporated a professional association that I cannot strike anything from the record. I am constantly outvoted on because that's how it works, how it should work. And no executive can be at the helm. And like when I read striking that from the record, I think, no, let's copy that 4 times. Because if anybody ever hears me, let's not put that on the record, put it on the record twice.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so tired.
Conflict, right? The conflicts. Yeah.
Conflict behavior management, conflict therapy, conflict. And I'm just reading people's words that are sent to my desk, to my screen. You know, what are we supposed to do? Where are we supposed to drum up 200 more thousand dollars to give to a nonprofit so that they can give us information so that we can compete fairly?
Yeah.
Like, like how am I supposed to come up with, how are we all supposed to come up with that money, give to the state of Indiana so they'll give us the information like they're supposed to?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't have those answers. I don't have those
Well,
answers. The one thing I do know is there any way I can put my email on do not disturb like for the rest of my life? Genuine question. So, one thing I will say to people in the general public, one thing that I personally utilize in my life, and I encourage all citizens to use, is public search engines. Simple example is one of my favorites is Indiana SOS. Right here, as you watch on my screen, the state of Indiana's website, www.in.gov, the arrow thing, SOS, their link, public search, public search. Let's click that link. Oh, wow. Wow. Your one-stop source for your business search. I am not a robot. I've gone through this before, but I'm
yeah.
doing it one
Yeah.
more time to iterate a point about public information and the access to it legally and fairly. So incorporator or governing person name, Joaquin Orozco, all the same. Whether I look up anybody, I could look up, I don't know, Joe Biden. Like, well, I doubt it's business in Indiana, but you guys kind of get the point, right? It's all
Mhm.
public information. And so utilize your tools, utilize your resources. Accessing public information and then further disseminating that public information is an act of perfectly legal conduct in the state of Indiana and in the
Mhm.
United States of America, where we have freedom of speech and the ability to always present the truth in all of our communications.
Mhm.
I need a third monster.
I think families need to know what potential changes are coming. Because I think it's one thing to lose your case manager. Like I remember being a case manager, and
Mhm.
when people lost me, they go, "Oh yeah, that's too bad. Well, we'll miss ya. And who's our new
Right?
case manager?" Right? Like we only saw them every 3 months, and like so we weren't as close. But boy, when you come in and you say you're going to lose your behavior consultant that you worked with for years, that sees you every week, and now
Therapeutic relationship is different.
you can you can choose from, these other companies that we've just narrowed it down to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we just
that's
narrowed it down to make the rich richer. So, because they're our friends, and we give them insider information to prepare in advance of the other competitors. We have to present that public information and try to defend
very,
ourselves.
very unhappy families.
Yeah, I think so. I think problem is that they're going to say that they do get that information to the families, but they do it in a way that like I don't understand it, let alone a mother
Well,
of a disabled child who has 13 minutes to read whatever they're disseminating in between life. Like
is it just me though with like the case management innovation? It was like a letter in November that you had to pick a new company by January.
they had sent out some other stuff, but yes,
Did they?
in my opinion, not in a way that it really reaches the people, but in a way that they're legally compliant with the feds. So the feds can't come down on them, but like no, they didn't actually help the people. We got it out there. If people didn't look, they didn't look, but like you didn't actually take
Right.
the effort to like we need you. No, they don't
We're
care.
looking
They don't care.
though. We're looking and we're sharing. To
I think,
share.
I think my true concern is, and I'm not fully into this yet, but I'm like 75% full in like filling into this. Is I feel like we have this like group of people who just think that they just know better than everyone else. Like whatever room they walk into, they're like, I'm the smartest person in here. And I just feel that way. And I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about a 20 in our industry that are just like, I know better, regardless of ever doing it, having a disabled child, being disabled, regardless of any of those life experiencing, teaching things. I think I know better. And I'm not saying they say that. I feel like my perception of when I interact, when I see them, they just think to know better for all of us, for the practitioners, for them, for them. I don't. I walk into the room and go, I'm dumber than all of them. Teach me things. And that's why I surrounded myself with the smartest people in the state. And how you do that is you just pay them the best, treat them the best, and they'll stick around because I'm not smarter than everybody in the room. But I bring the smart people into the room with me. Then it's a good room to be in.
Hmm.
So I don't know. That's what I got. I'm tired. I need a nap. I need a $200,000 nap. Like, I almost want to raise that money and donate it and just be like, here's 200 more $1,000. Can you share that with the rest of us? Like, what do we need to do to just be treated equally, fairly, and compete fairly and equally? I want equal opportunity. I want the same equal opportunity as everybody else in this world that I'm supposed to be given by the law.
Behavior management is not the Kelly Hartman show. This is not the Kelly Hartman show. We don't want to watch it anymore. We don't want to do it that way anymore. You don't know what's best for the industry. Half
Oh,
of the stuff that you presented, you didn't even provide information that other people could go and pull up and verify. And you scared people, basically. Fear mongering. Yeah, and this is where Beads wants to go. That's what they want at the table.
we'll keep fighting. It's the only thing we can do. There's no stopping.
Yeah.
Keep fighting.
This won't be like case management innovation. Like there's gonna
No,
be
we're in the
it's gonna be
fight, and we're in the fight.
yeah.
We have allies, we have publications, we have
Mhm.
media outlets, we have companies in Indiana, we have companies in other states. We are prepared for the war. We have support from a lot of our competitors who want to do things the right way and compete fairly without insider information. This stuff isn't about the individual. It's about the ego and I want to be the champion and make the millions. There is no reason to be making that many millions as a disabilities champion.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make sense to me.
Mm.
What? The vast majority of the money needs to go to the practitioners, all of them. Back, rec, respite, mute, muff, breath, D-man. That's why we pay 75 to 90%. And that really is because the remainder has to cover the infrastructure and the rest of the stuff. There's not a huge profit margin. We don't need it up there. The success and the profit is the quality outcomes that we are actually achieving with our people because the clinicians are consistent. We don't have turnover. They come in every week. They work hard because we treat them well, we train them well, and we pay them so well that they come in and they work hard and it shows. And that is the way to do it. There's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it. There's no reason for there to be a hill and champions on top of it. This is abilities. Every single one of us from CEO to DSP needs to be at the bottom of the mountain side by side and walking forward and working. I'm tired of the ivory tower millionaire saying I need $200,000 to give you information so you can go out there and work hard.
Mhm.
No, I will donate the $200,000, guys. Somebody tell me where to write the check, where to send it. I'll send a certified check in the mail. I will pay it. Just treat us equally and fairly, not just me, all of us. White,
Yeah.
brown, black, man, woman, you whatever you decide to.
No insiders getting to decide what's going to happen
Equal
to
opportunity.
all of these companies
Yes.
down the road when you just squash it for your own power and your own interests.
I want to win the race because I trained and I beat you and I earned it. And if I didn't, I will give you the medal. If we were in the Olympics and you got the gold and I got the silver, I'll put the gold on you if you want.
Mhm.
If you beat me fairly, if you trip me, it's a little different. But
Yeah.
anywho, I got to take a break and I don't know, try to catch some Z's before the next things. I don't know, folks. Send your questions, concerns. I don't know. We just got this sent to us, so we decided to debrief and to discuss and just give our perspective, our opinions. Again, the disclaimer is we're not lawyers, we're not attorneys. We're just members of the Indiana Behavioral Association. We're therapists who are discussing what is happening in our industry and to us from our perspective. And we thank y'all for coming in week and week out and joining us and listening to us. And again, if you got questions, concerns, email us, comment, let us know. You know how to reach us.
Pay attention.
Well,
Changes are
apparently know how to reach us because undisclosed emails just arrive when they arrive. So whatever. Anywho, thank y'all. Jennifer, any last things as we round out?
Nope, just changes are coming. Changes are coming.
Hey, earlier, did you catch what happened with my water bottle?
No.
So don't rewatch the episode.
Oh,
All right,
I
thank
will.
you guys.